Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm very excited to have another Cobra Kai cast member. So you know him also as John in Bel-Air. He was also in A Time Called You, but you guys might know him from a little show called Cobra Kai as Yoon Do-Jin. Please welcome Daniel Kim. Daniel, how are you this evening?
Hey, what's going on? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course. First of all, happy belated birthday. I didn't realize it was your birthday recently, man.
Yeah, thank you.
What'd you do to celebrate?
Oh, dude, it was great, man. Me and a couple friends took me out, and we went to a little brunch spot. It was super sweet. Yeah,
That's awesome, man. Hey, you got to keep it simple sometimes. So
yeah,
that's
yeah. My girlfriend arranged it. It was awesome. It was super fun. Friends, fam, the whole thing. It was great.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna hit you with a question. I hope my research paid off.
Let's do it, dude.
Are you a Zelda fan?
Oh my God, come on, absolutely.
Okay,
Where'd you get that? How did you know I was a Zelda fan?
I might have stalked your music playlist on YouTube.
That is wild. That is crazy.
Daniel's like, okay, in interview. No, but seriously, I saw Breath of the Wild was on there, so I was like, he has
Yeah.
to be a Zelda fan. So
Oh my God.
excluding Breath of the Wild, favorite Zelda game.
Oh, man. Okay, so I have a huge dude, way to come out the gate with questions that I would adore.
Thank you.
Dude, I'm a huge Wind Waker fan. I grew up on
Okay.
Wind Waker, so like Wind Waker for the GameCube is like a big nostalgia bomb for me. So I love that one. But the first like Zelda that I went and completed front to back all the way was Twilight Princess. And I know that's like some people that's a controversial game, but I love Twilight Princess. It's so good, and I adore that game to this day. It's the first game that, like, as a kid, I like finished front to back, did every single side quest. Oh, and the music is gorgeous. I could just nerd out all day, man. But I love Zelda.
So the one cutscene that tears me up every time is when after Link rescues Colin. And he's like, I
Oh my gosh,
what you
yes.
do. He's like, I now I know what it means to be like courage and stuff like you and whatnot. So that's a really, really good cut. No, dude, it pains me to say that I've only played and beaten it once, and that was back in 2012. But I want to go back and play it
Mm,
again and stuff like that.
that's great.
So yeah, for me, Link to the Past was my first,
Ooh,
but
good
Twilight Princess,
title.
yeah, Twilight Princess is easily top 5, along with Ocarina, Majora's Mask, Skyward Sword, which some people
Oh,
I've heard don't like, but I like it.
so you're like a deep cut. You like love all the main lines. I
Yeah.
love those a ton. I've never played dude, don't come at me for this, but I've never played the original Ocarina and I've never played Majora. And I know those
Oh
are like
man.
seminal titles.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know the control scheme was kind of weird for Skyward, but I really like the story. I actually think
Same.
Skyward is a really underrated Zelda game. So I'm a
Dude,
fan.
that's another moment like I've teared up, especially when he's like, "Hey, will you wake?" When she's like, "Will you wake me up again?" Like
Yeah.
that always gets me. So,
Yeah, when the cycle starts. Oh man, so
yeah,
good.
yeah, dude. If you love Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword,
Mhm.
they adapted that engine from Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. So definitely, please go back and play someday.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
gotta.
So another research I might have done. Cowboy Bebop fan.
Oh, yeah. Was that from the playlist too?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm a huge dude. I love games. I'm a huge weeb. So I love anime and I wear it with a badge of pride.
Yeah. So questions for my fiance, my friends that are moderators of my channel.
Okay.
What are your thoughts of Spike and Faye from Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, you mean like them like together?
I
Or do
think
you
just as
mean
characters
like
individually, I think is
just as
what.
characters individual? Dude, I mean, Spike is the coolest human being alive. Like, I think everyone that I've ever met, Steve Bloom, incredible voice acting. His performance is so good. He's got like the Western, like Wild West kind of cowboy charm, like got a Clint Eastwood thing, but he's always got like, he's great. He's so good. Love Spike. But he's got like that core of sadness. So he's got everything that you love about like noir, westerns, sci-fi, all in one. Faye's great. Faye's like the classic femme fatale, but like when you hear her story about how she was essentially a kid, like lost in space, and then is now this young woman having to navigate it without all this knowledge. She's such a tragic and interesting and fun character. So I love both of them. They're both incredible.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
I do watch anime here and there. I've not seen the entirety of Cowboy Bebop, but the one episode I remember the most
You
because I
got
was sick during the time. It was kind of like a fever dream. It was the villain that was like scared of cats. The guy that was like that almost killed Spike because he was like
Yes.
shooting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
I
yeah.
forget what the
Oh, I'm trying to
episode. Yeah.
remember what his name is. Oh, I'm gonna be kicking myself. I'll have to look it up after the interview. But yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the one I'm familiar with the most. So,
Okay,
is there any
nice.
current anime you're watching right now?
Okay, so oh man, I just finished. I mean, it would have been a little while ago, but I finished the latest season of Jujutsu Kaisen. That was
Okay,
great.
yeah.
Love that, big fan. Um, and then I'm watching Solo Leveling right now. Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
I used to read that, and I've been enjoying it. It's fun. It's just like a nice, fun action, great little escapism. I'm a big fan.
That's awesome. Yeah, my friend, so one of my best friends that asked the question. So he and I back in the day used to do like a lot of fan dubbing and stuff like that, like like
Oh,
an early
cool.
internet. But he actually made it in the industry
Yeah.
now, so he's in Solo Leveling. It kills me because I'm like, I
No
don't know what
way.
role he is in, but he's in Solo Leveling. He's one of the heroes in Stranova and stuff like that and stuff.
That's so great, dude. So your friend's a voice actor. He does a lot of those anime dubs.
Yeah, Charles Wynn.
Charles. Charles Wayne. Okay.
Yeah,
God,
so
I'll have to take a look. I'll look for his
yeah,
name. That's so awesome, man.
yeah,
That's
for
so
sure.
cool. Tell him he's killing it. What's
Yeah,
up,
man.
Charles?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure he'll be like, dude, you mentioned me. So yeah,
Yeah.
man. So yeah, I love Charles.
Listen, man, when it comes to like the nerd circles, like Cobra Kai and then like, anime and games, like I feel like a lot of people they kind of it's like Venn diagram where everyone kind of comes
Exactly.
together, so it's great.
Exactly. So I haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's cool that you bring it up because I had Zach and Leo live on the channel yesterday, and they mentioned
Oh,
that anime was part of the inspiration of the music they did for season 6, part 3.
no way.
Stuff like that.
What
Yeah. So
Oh, interesting. I'm trying to think of where like, kind of the electronica kinda stuff for the battles and things?
I think so. They didn't specify what, but they
Uh-huh.
mentioned like a lot of vibes like that because we talked a lot about JRPGs, like some like for example the track Pearl Necklace where they talk about
Mhm.
that at the dinner table,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. I kind of pointed out some like JRPG esque music and stuff like that too. So if you get a chance, I know you're a busy guy. The video is live on my or the VOD's still there on the channel, so definitely check
Oh,
it out if you
sick.
get a chance. Yeah.
Dude, I would love to. Hey, fellow gaming nerds.
Yeah, our conversation was just like this, that we just nerded out about video game music and stuff like that.
Dude, that's great. I mean, all the things that we're talking about when we're talking about if you're talking about, like, just from a music standpoint, and also Zach and Leo, they do incredible work. Like, everything they did for, like, Korean Cobra Kai, it sounds amazing. It's some of, like, the best tracks in the season and also in, like, the whole show, I feel like Kwon, the rise of Kwon, and then the Sekai Taikai entering the Sekai Taikai music is so good, right? And then the final fight, which is the Mortal Kombat.
Yep,
That one's so
exactly.
good too.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
yeah, it's great. I love like hearing all their inspirations coming from like either like cultural stuff like Spanish guitar or all the way to like video game music. That's awesome.
Dude, for sure. So, got a bit of a fitness question for you. What's your go-to cheat
Yeah.
meal?
Oh, go to cheat meal. Oh man, I feel like I had. That's nice of you to say. I feel like Cobra Kai was so crazy when it came to us working out and doing stuff that there wasn't a lot of days for cheat meals. These days, ooh, I love In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out a
Okay.
lot. So a good burger, like In-N-Out, double double, right? Grilled onions and fries
Okay.
is good. I love a good In-N-Out. And then maybe if I'm feeling really bad, I'll go for a shake.
That's awesome. So I'm from Texas, but I've had In-N-Out
Nice.
before, back in the 2010s, and it's not the same here in Texas than I had it in California and stuff like that. So, like, obviously, there's a big Whataburger versus In-N-Out. I think they both
Oh,
have
is
their
that what
good,
it is?
yeah. I think they have their good aspects about both of them and stuff like that. But
For sure.
my go-to cheat meal, especially when I started really getting of bodybuilding, well, not bodybuilding, but like first bulk, like about 7 years ago.
Mhm.
I used to always kill like 24 piece, not 24, I'm sorry, 20-piece Wingstop, dude. Like, right now
Just
it's
like a
just
few
like,
chicken wings.
yeah, right. My go-to flavor is hot honey rub, spicy Korean barbecue,
Ooh.
Cajun, mild,
Ooh.
and
Spicy
extra
Korean
fried
barbecue is
seasoning.
good.
Yes.
Extra fried seasoning.
Yeah, well,
Well,
on the
I've never
fries,
done that before.
on the fries. Basically,
What?
they could do
Oh,
extra
extra
fried
fry
seasoning.
seasoning.
Sorry, yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
I've never done that.
yes,
I'll have to do that next time at Wingstop.
yes.
Okay. I didn't know that was a secret. Alright, man, I'll have to do that. What part of Texas are you in, if I can ask?
Sure. Houston. I'm
Oh, Houston,
originally,
sick.
yeah, I'm
Nice.
originally from a little place. If you're familiar with wrestling, called Victoria, Texas.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not a huge wrestling guy, which I know I feel like kind of sacrilegious because I had Britt Baker on our show and I met her,
Yeah.
but I didn't grow up with wrestling, so
Yeah. No, that's fair.
but that's cool. Cool. Nice. I have a bunch of friends who are in like kind of the Austin, some in the Houston area, some in the Austin area. So I have to make a time to go visit because I need to do the In-N-Out Whataburger like comparison. I haven't done that yet, and I need to know if y'all have the sauce because In-N-Out is incredible. I'm just saying it's God's gift to man. So
I will say that speaking of food, Chicago pizza forever changed me. Like
ooh,
when I went to
yeah.
Chicago, have you ever been? And because for me,
I've
I like
never.
Trivianos. Okay,
Oh man, so I've been stuck to the coasts pretty much. I think I've been West Coast everywhere on the West Coast. I've been
okay,
to New York. I've been to Virginia, Maryland, and because I have some like family around DC area. And then furthest like inland, I've gone like to Colorado. I've gone to Utah, but I've never hit some of like Chicago, which is one of the biggest things that's on my to-do list. And I have friends out there, and they constantly tell me about the food and especially the pizza. So I've heard it's life changing.
yeah. So I got another suggestion for you then, since
Oh, come on.
video game. So, did they ever tell you about Galloping Ghost?
Galloping Ghost?
Yeah.
Galloping Ghost. No. What is
So,
that?
okay, it may not be the world, but I could be wrong. But it's definitely the biggest U.S. arcade. So it's like $20-$30. You play all day,
Whoa.
900 plus arcade machines. And the thing is, so even some rare ones, like they have Primal Rage 2, which was never released officially.
Okay.
They also had this really rare game called Arm Champs 2, which like maybe less than 100 copies were made. And
Uh-huh.
it's like this arcade machine that has like a motorized hand that you arm wrestle. And I've actually beaten the whole
What?
game like when I was there. So yeah.
Oh, that's wild. Well, you said bodybuilding, so that's
Yeah.
your test, right? It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
how hard have I been going? Cool. Gallop, Galloping
Galloping
Ghost.
Ghost, kind of like, it's like a horse gallop. So galloping
Yeah.
ghost. Yeah. So definitely
Okay.
check it out if you get a chance, man.
Okay, dude. Hey, I have to add that to my list. I just wrote it down. So next time I'm in Chicago, I'll let you know.
For sure. So before Cobra Kai, did you study martial arts? And so what did you study, or did you get into martial arts because of the show? Tell me about your martial arts background.
Yeah. So I've said it a couple times, but I actually grew up doing Taekwondo. I'm a second degree black
Oh,
belt, and
okay, awesome.
I did it for about 10 years, and I did it when I was pretty young, and then I kind of let it go after high school because wanted to focus on the acting thing. I went to school for acting, and I wanted to be an
Sure.
actor. But martial arts have been a huge part of my life, and it was kind of like rediscovering that thing that I loved when I came on set for Cobra Kai. Now, for me, it was amazing because it was like finding this thing that I loved and dusting it off and kind of like polishing the rust off of it. And I got it to do it with some of the best martial artists that I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. People like Brandon and Reina. Sorry, I was about to say Zara, but Reina and like
Right.
the whole stunt team who are absolutely incredible.
Right.
So for me, it couldn't have been a better time and a better place for me to rediscover my love for martial arts. So Taekwondo, man, Taekwondo from day one.
So I actually just got back from Taekwondo and stuff like that.
Nice.
I'm still beginner.
Oh, right
I
now?
Yeah, I just got
Great.
to at the end of last month. I just got to yellow belt black stripe.
Dude, congratulations,
Yeah,
man. How long
thank
you
you.
been doing it?
Since August. Yeah, so
Oh, sweet. Since just after part 2 dropped. Come on. Basically. That's great.
yeah, it's one of those things where like I'd always wanted to do it, but I just never got a chance to. And I'm probably a little bit older than you, even though it might not seem like it. But it's one of those things. But it's really humbling because like I'm like maybe one of 4 adults in my class. The rest are kids and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So it's really cool that, especially if you have a good teacher, just the confidence, like the respect for others, self respect for
Mhm.
yourself, and things like
For
that. So
sure.
it's really really cool. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Dude, congratulations on doing that, man. Like, way to step into it and, like, wanting to do something because doing something like that, especially, when you didn't do it growing up can be really frightening, so and I imagine part of that was inspired from Cobra Kai or from watching, like, John
Specifically, you and
Willis.
Brandon. Yeah. So yeah,
No way,
yeah,
man!
yeah,
What?
yeah.
That's amazing. Wow, I feel super honored. I'm sure Brandon would feel the exact same. Keep at it. I hope you have a
Thank
great
you.
time. It's awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping to talk with him soon. So when I interacted with him on Dallas's stream, because he did a couple streams with
Yeah,
Dallas
you
on
did.
Twitch,
Yeah.
we got to talk, and he was like really honored that like I told him like, yeah, you guys were some of my influences for doing
Oh my
Taekwondo.
gosh.
So Yeah, I was tempted to have like my yellow belts back here and be like, I was tempted like, yeah, dude, I'm right this. But yeah,
No, I believe you, man. I believe you. You'll have to send me like a little pic after we finish. I'll
yeah,
be
for
yeah,
sure.
it's great.
So before we jump into Cobra Kai, one question I wanted to ask is, so you were in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air remake. From the
Yeah.
original show, though, do you have a favorite moment, whether it's a funny moment, dramatic moment, or any
Oh.
episode that you can think of?
From the original Fresh Prince,
Yes. Yeah.
right? Okay. Yeah, yeah, dude, I'm sure this is one of everybody's favorite moments, but when Will has the episode with his dad and he goes like, "Why don't he want me, man?" Like, that is one of the most, like, beautiful and sincere moments on, I think, any, like, daytime television sitcom, you know what I mean? It got so real, and I love that episode, and I didn't watch Fresh Prince like that much growing up. I just kind
Sure.
of got to see it whenever it was on my grandparents' TV or my mom and dad's TV. But whenever I did, that episode I got to see, and I remember being like blown away by it. So yeah, so much love to the Bel Air team, by the way. Some of my good friends are on that show, and I loved being John for a handful of episodes.
James Avery, right? Uncle Phil.
Yes,
Yeah,
I believe so. You mean old Uncle
the
Phil or
actor.
new?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
so.
one of the best TV dads ever. Especially he was also Shredder in the original '80s Ninja Turtles cartoon. Wait,
Was he
did you not
really?
know
I didn't
that?
know that. I did not know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That
So
is sick. Now I can never unhear it. I'll be like, Shredder, come on, man. You're Uncle Phil. Like, calm
yeah,
down.
yeah. It's so funny, and it's so sad he's no longer with us. But he was one of the
Yeah,
greatest TV dads ever, and whatnot.
absolutely.
And yeah, it blew. I didn't know that until about a couple years ago too. That he was Shredder in the '80s cartoon as well too. So,
Wow.
and then I think he got replaced eventually. I guess maybe to focus more on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. But yeah,
Sure.
because even when the first, I think it was the first or no, so when Turtles in Time, which was the second arcade game that came out, he was not the voice, but they had some other guy do it, even though he was still Shredder at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So it was some kind of whatnot.
Yeah,
So
sometimes that happens with voiceover. I know they do like voice matches and stuff. But yeah,
right.
that's cool.
So let's talk about Cobra Kai.
Let's do
Um,
it.
Here's one thing I wanted to ask, and I hope I'm one of your first part 3 interviews because this is a question I wanted to
Yeah,
ask.
you are. You're my first part three
Oh,
interview.
okay,
Yeah,
awesome,
this is the
awesome.
first one that I've done.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So first question, because this is also I have some fan questions too. I'm also kind of like siphoning in from and whatnot.
Yeah.
We all want to know, or at least in your mind, what happened to Yoon after Kreese sent him away? Did he stop martial arts altogether? We didn't see him in Ace, or excuse me, X Degenerate. So like in your mind,
Yeah.
because you've played the character, what do you think happened?
Such a good question. So, yeah, that's one of the like big open-ended things, those kind of question marks in the show. And there's the creators like John Josh and Hayden did such a good job of tying loose ends for pretty much everybody and giving us like a really satisfying ending with all these characters we really love. Yeah, for Yoon, because he just came off of having to hurt Chungi and Minseok, right? Some of
Right.
his guys, the guys that he went to the tournament with, who he's been training with, learning this like forbidden technique, to try and avenge Kwan. But I think one of the things about it is I think Yoon is pretty shaken by that, but I don't see him ever leaving martial arts. Whether he goes on to find, I think I'm kind of in two camps, and I never confirmed this with John, Josh, and Hayden, so this is all like
Okay.
Daniel speculation. But I see Yoon going one of two ways: is that he continues to work with Kim Tae-in after Kim Sun Young's passing, after she took it over from him, well deserved. Um, but another part of me that I always had in mind for his backstory was like that he actually might go to like America to go study abroad, because I think Yoon
Okay.
comes from a family of pretty okay means, and it kind of felt like he would train martial arts, then go off to like international school or to do college in a foreign country and then come back. So yeah, as to where Yoon might go from there, he might not be under John Kreese's tutelage, but he might come back under Kim Da-eun's. I would love to see that in a future show or something. But yeah, man, that's where I like to imagine that Yoon is.
Sure. Yeah, and that was definitely a burning question we all had. So,
Yeah.
and here's something I kind of want to know myself. So, in part 2, something I noticed was you were the only person to land a hit on Axel in the entire thing. And so like I
Yeah.
thought in part 3, and I mean, of course, I like how the show ended and everything, how they were able to bring Cobra Kai back under Johnny and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I had thought that, and I was kind of right because that's what they looked like they were going to do in Into the Fire. Was that I thought they were going to have you as the captain, and then have you face off
Oh.
against Axel. Was there any kind of scrap storyline that you maybe knew about, or is it just all like, no, hey, this Yoon's,
No,
you-
from the beginning,
okay,
it was always I mean, the name of the show is Cobra Kai. I remember, like, so many of
right,
the memes coming out of part 2 is like, "What is this show, Miyagi-Do? Like, what? This show isn't even Cobra Kai anymore." And
right,
I remember smiling seeing those comments because I was like, "Y'all have no idea what's about to happen in part 3, and you guys are gonna be so happy to see the show kind of tie that." Because as you know, we love Daniel, we love Miyagi-Do, we love, like, the origins of the Karate Kid and how he continues on and honors that legacy, but,
right,
like, Cobra Kai is Johnny's show, and
right,
it's Johnny's dojo, you know? So, the plan was always for Johnny to take over Cobra Kai again and, to have Miguel at the helm, and that's such an exciting, full circle moment to go from the first All Valley that they did in season 1 all the way to now, you know? So that's part of what I love about it. And as for Yoon, I think there was some talks about like maybe whether he would show up with Alicia Hannah Kim and Sensei Kim Tae again. But as for like my storyline, I pretty much knew that ending scene was with me, with Min-suk and Chung-yi, and kind of showing how awful Kim Sun-young is and how much he needed to go for Kim Dawn to go off and become this incredible sensei in her own right, not under the influence of her grandpa anymore.
right. Yeah, because one thing I've always viewed this show is, and I know you mentioned you didn't watch wrestling, but like what's really great about wrestling in Cobra Kai is that they're very similar because you have characters that are protected in a certain way of like how strong and how weak they look. So for you, for example, for Yoon,
Hmm.
it took 3 people to eliminate him essentially in part 2.
Yeah.
And if you think about, like, as I mentioned too, the fact that you were the only not even Quan could land a hit on Axel, so it showed that you and Quan were at least somewhat equal level. So that was something I always kind of wondered
Ooh.
and whatnot.
I would love to say that Yoon is equal to Quan. I would love to gas my guy up, but I know that Quan is on like he's a little better than Yoon, I think, like technically from like a
Right.
fighting perspective. But I put a lot of stock in Yoon's. I also love that the whole power scaling thing or a lot
Yeah.
of those conversations around that. They make me smile, and I love seeing people latch onto Yoon and say like, no, like he and Hawk are on the same level, or like, no, Hawk's better than you, no, Yoon's better. I love
Right.
seeing that. I'm sure Jacob feels the same. Like just seeing all those comments, they make me smile. That people care that much. Um, but yeah, I think like when it comes to all that power stuff, it really comes down to what's the most satisfying story that we can tell, honoring these characters and these people, and the fact that I got that hit in on Axel. I don't think is a lucky shot. I think
Nope.
Yoon is sick. I think it's a
Yeah.
perfectly executed technique. Thank you,
Right.
Sensei Don, our fight coordinator Don Lee, who helped me get that kick out. But yeah, as for whether or not that would have translated into the ring with Axel in there, in fight mode, I don't know. I think Ewan would have a hard time fighting Axel in the ring for sure.
Right. Definitely. So that brings me to some next questions. If you could travel back in time to the 80s, or if we could take Yoon Do-Jin rather, who would you want a dream match against from the 80s?
From the 80s?
Yes.
Oh, Chosen. Chosen,
Chosen easily.
easy. Like
Okay.
like
Yeah.
early Chosen. One, because it's like he's kind of like Quan is kind of like Chosen Jr. You know what I mean? He's kind of
Right.
like the modern, he's like he's got that aura, he's got that energy, he's a good fighter, he's a bit of a bad boy. I would have loved to see like, the final fight that they have at the festival with Daniel LaRusso versus Chosen, but it's Yoon. Big fan, would adore that. Um, I just think because it's so iconic and so classic, it would be so fun to have fought like a young Johnny Lawrence or a young Daniel LaRusso. That
Okay.
would have been so exciting to do, and to fought either Ralph or Billy at like their prime, and when those movies were happening, that would have been such a fun, like energy and an exciting thing. Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah, those are some of the shorts I like to do. It's just like a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, can you do a dream fight between these two characters?"
Mm,
And things like that. So,
and how it
so
turned out and stuff.
right,
Nice.
exactly. So let me throw a little mini theory of one of my shorts on you. See what you think. So
Sure.
this is something that was never really addressed in Cobra Kai. So in season 5, Terry Silver tells Chosen, you know Tong Sudo. I made the parallel that Chosen's outfit, minus the red stripe, was very similar to what Master Kim's students wear and the outfits and stuff like that. So obviously we know Sato and Master Kim Sung-young had some beef, which again, that was never really specified why
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
angry at each other and stuff like that. So my thought was like maybe in secret, Chosen studied under Kim Sung-young under some kind of alias or something like that to kind of help his uncle get back at Kim Sung-young. How do you what do you think about that theory? And also, or like, how would you think that Chosen knows Tong Sudo, especially if it was
Right.
enough to impress Terry Silver?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question because I remember he pulls it out when he pulls it out in season 5, right? When he's talking to who was it? He's talking to Daniel LaRusso, right? About like how Terry Silver fights,
Yes, and
right?
also
And
demonstrating with Tori in front of Silver
yes,
as
that's
well.
right, that's right. I
Yes.
remember. Um, I would think my like head canon is that, because these are, because Sato and Kim Sun Young had a bit of a rivalry, that their students probably were in matches in the same way that Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso went up against each other. So I imagine like when you see like because when you go to tournaments all the time and you see them over and over and over again. So I
Right.
imagine that like I feel like Chosen and one of Kim Sun Young's students like matched up like over and over and over, and Chosen just like found out and knew the guy's moves to a T because he kept competing against him. That's like my headcanon, that he never like went to go study, like a spy, but just by being in the ring with someone, you kind of like steal their techniques or go like, he does
Okay.
this and that's brutal and I don't like that. I'll do it this way, so he can demonstrate it because Chosen is such a gifted martial artist and sensei.
Right.
So yeah,
Gotcha.
shout out to Yuji, who I adore. He's a
Yes.
homie.
He's so awesome. So I know we have a little bit of time left, so I'm gonna pull one question real quick from the fans because I
Yeah.
actually put up a post on my channel
Oh, we
and we
do a
had like
couple.
70 questions. I was like, we're only gonna be able to
Oh,
get through so many.
wow.
Yeah, it was
Oh my
crazy.
gosh,
So
that's amazing and a
so let
little
me
overwhelming.
yeah, yeah. Favorite fight scene to film. This is from okay, the name's gonna be funny. I kind of want to let you hear it just 'cause the username is bruh sound effect 2595 is
Bear.
yeah.
Awesome. Hey, what's up, Bear? Thanks for the question. My favorite fight to film. Gosh, all of them were so fun. I think the three-way fight with Yoon and Hawk, Dimitri, and Kenny, the tag team fight. That's probably my favorite one because it sits in 609, which is one of my favorite episodes of part 2, and it's like the coming to head of Cobra Kai and Miyagi-Do rivalry at the
Right.
Sekai Taikai. Love it for those reasons, and also because I got to fight with everybody, and that is so sick and so fun and so enjoyable. And Jacob and Dimitri and Dallas, they're so good to work with. So I love that.
That's awesome. Okay, promise. Last question. Yoon is training in the dojo, right? What's the top 5 songs he's listening to on his playlist?
Oh, top 5. Okay. Oh man, top 5. That's a lot of songs, man. Okay. He's listening to Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Okay.
He's listening to ooh, I don't know if I can okay, it's early Kanye, but it'd be like because I don't know if we stand Kanye in this house, but early Kanye, like work it, yeah,
I will say it's always that interesting
yeah,
conversation of like I love Kanye's music, I just don't like the person he is. So yeah, feel free to say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Stronger, right? I think it's like it's old throwback, right? I think that he'd be listening to. I think he's listening to a little Blackpink. I think there's some
Okay.
Blackpink in there, I think that's kind of like an offshoot thing that he has. I think he probably has like one Blackpink song. I think he probably has like one BTS song that he's like
Okay.
kind of like a guilty pleasure song or something like that. And then like final like workout playlist. I'll throw this one in for like for the anime lovers in chat. I think he's like listening to like the Chainsaw Man opening, like something like just
Okay.
metal and weird and hard, and he's just like working out to it. That feels like you.
That's awesome. Daniel, thank you for your time. I hope this interview was fun. I tried to make it as unique as I could. So and
Dude, it was
whatnot.
great. You opened the gate with a Zelda question. I was like, come on, man, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome. So where can they find you on social media and any upcoming projects you want to plug?
Yeah, of course. You guys can find me on @Daniel_J_Kim, pretty much everywhere, but mostly on Instagram. I am on TikTok, but I don't really post. But maybe that'll change one day. Yeah, as for things I'm doing now, I'm currently in a play that's at Pasadena at Noise Within at Pasadena. It's lovely. It's the Scottish play for those of you guys who are Shakespeare lovers in chat. And besides that, I'm working on a bunch of other projects that I can't talk about right now, but can't wait to announce them in the near future. But thank you guys so much for watching part 3. Love you all so much.
Of course. And to quote Star Wars, we will be watching your career with great interest. So thank you guys for tuning in. You guys stay beautiful, stay awesome. Catch you around next time.